First things first, before I cannonball into the spaghetti and meatballs of today's topic,
what is it?
I'd like to let you all know I've been actively working on my Mickey Mouse impression, so please let me know your thoughts. Pluto! So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you all of my analytics from my lifetime of being on YouTube and almost a decade of being on Twitch.
Is this Charlie's coded message and way to send a message to Pluto, who's on the Twitch staff, to indirectly complain about his revenue that he's making on Twitch, or the revenue that's being made on Twitch, as a preface to the video? Because that's what it has to be, right? That's what it has to be.
Now, the reason for this is, a week ago I made a video called I'm Turning It Off, and in that video I'm explaining why I'm disabling any and all means of people having the ability to donate money to me.
Yeah, I turned mine off too. It's fucking annoying. I don't want to read people's messages. They're stupid, and then people feel like they want to talk to me. Then I think that you owe them something. It's just fucking annoying. Yeah, I turned that shit off too.
No more super chats, no more YouTube memberships, for all intents and purposes, no more bits on Twitch. I say all intents and purposes because you can't actually fully disable that on Twitch. Once you start streaming on there, you're fucking shackled to the bits ecosystem. It can't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can. People can do it, but it doesn't. I don't create an incentive structure around it.
Not be turned off.
Yeah.
So I made the minimum so high that no one can pay it. Hopefully, and actively discouraging people from subbing on Twitch as well. Any and all avenues where people could just give me clams, I am just putting the kibosh.
Yeah, no, that's what happened, is that Dan, you know, like he took us out to a really nice steak restaurant. It was a very, very nice place. And Dan was telling me, he's like, hey, so you're losing us a lot of money. And I said, am I losing you hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars? And Dan refused to answer me. And so he was telling me, he's like, hey, man, I'm just letting you know that we might be doing this ad thing.
I should have done this a long time ago, but better late than never. Might as well be sharded now. The reason is super simple. I would much rather you keep your money.
Yeah.
Use it for yourself or use it for things you deem important, whether it's charitable causes or what have you. But just stop forking it over to me. Now, since posting that video, there's been a lot of questions and even somewhat of a pushback from other streamers about how, like, this sets a bad precedent where it, like, starts to shame other streamers if they don't follow my footsteps here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think other streamers don't, and this is why whenever I've talked about it, I've always said multiple times that I don't criticize or complain. Like, you know, like Kai does a subathon. Even Kai's got a lot of money too, right? And I never criticize other people for trying to make money. I don't think it's really a bad thing. And that's why I always say, like, every time that I do talk about, like, taking donations or anything like that, I usually do preface it by saying, like, if other people want to do it, that's totally fine. Because I don't want to do, like, I think Charlie, like, what he's talking about is, like, streamers get defensive because they feel like people like Charlie potentially are pulling the Charlie's not doing this, by the way. But this is the way they feel. That Charlie's pulling the ladder up, right? He's already made a lot of money, and now he's virtue signaling that he doesn't need your money, and this creates a second-order effect of now other viewers thinking that you as a streamer, this other person, are greedy and thinking of you as a worse person. It makes them look bad, basically, right? That's the way that they feel.
Let me be clear. I'm not trying to make a rallying cry here. I'm not your dad. You do what you want with your own streams. Keep donations and subs on out the wazoo forever. I don't care. That's your prerogative. This was just my own personal... Obviously, that wasn't, like, the most prevalent take or anything, but it is a conversation I saw stirring about after I posted that video, because there are some streamers that believe that normal people having the ability to give them money helps them feel included in the community, part of the crew, part of the ship, and it's, like, integral to the streaming experience to be able...
I think that's a interesting perspective, and if you want to have that perspective, I think that that perspective should be attached to some sort of merchandise. So, like, if you really, if you think that you want your community to feel engaged, and you think that by them investing into you as a creator, that then they will be, you know, invested into the stream, psychologically, that is a sound conclusion to make. Why not sell merchandise? Sell a little plushie, sell a shirt, sell something, a hat, a little something, some little stupid thing, right? That's fine. So but like, you don't have to ask for $20. Like, just give them something that they can remember that they have, and then whenever you get canceled, they can make videos on Twitter setting it on fire.
I've never really shared that perspective. I've always viewed streaming as content that you are providing to viewers for free. And
it's free, and I monetize my stream in a lot of ways. And I noted, you know, you guys notice, like, I'll you know, somebody donates 50 subs, 100 subs, 10 subs even, I'll say thanks. But a lot of times I also say don't do it if you can't afford it, right? The truth is that I don't like the idea of the subscriber non-subscriber dynamic, because I think that it tiers viewers, and I don't like the idea where certain viewers are given privileges inside of the community that other viewers don't have, because I just feel like that's an uncomfortable dynamic to be created by income.
Someone's nice enough to toss you a doubloon, you tip your fedora saying, "Holly jolly, thanks for the Reddit gold, kind stranger," and move on. But it's not an obligation, and no one should feel like they need to be able to give you money to be included in the community. That feels very parasocial to me. But that's just my own view on it. But what I will tell you, breaking the magician's code here, there is no top streamer that needs your financial support.
That's a fucking fact. Oh my God. And it's not entirely a fact, because I know some, like, actually, you know what? I had a friend, I'm not going to say who it is, spent $60,000 having water delivered to their house from across the street. Even this friend doesn't need your fucking money.
Also, the bulk of a streamer's income comes from ads in the first place. Anyway, though, I think this stems from people just not really knowing how much money a top streamer can make on Twitch, for example. So let me show you my analytics from my lifetime on Twitch. Now, Twitch analytics are a little wonky here on the back end, so I wasn't able to just set the date range from 2017 to 2025 because it would just freeze. It would just have a conniption. I bet the Twitch HQ server just fucking caught flame.
So he made 55K in 2 years, basically, right? 2017, 2019.
Trying to do that, so I had to break it up into chunks. So in 2017 is when I really started, like, actually streaming on Twitch. I had dabbled in 2016, but it wasn't until 2017 where I got, like, partnered and everything. So from 2017 to 2019, I made $55,500 for those 2 years. And I wasn't full-time streaming at this point or anything. It was just a bit of goofing around, having some fun, and it brought in $55,500. From 2019 to 2021 is when I took it a lot more seriously.
This is a better number. You see this number? It's the $1.2 million. Very good number to see here.
You can see my time streamed went from 600 hours on the 2 years to 3,600 hours, and I made $1.2 million for those 2 years. And this was before my Twitch contract, so the only ads that were running on my stream were like the pre-roll ads, the ones that Twitch would insert themselves. So this was still without ads, by the way.
Right.
$1.2 million, almost 1.3. Then I got a Twitch contract which necessitated a certain amount of ads, 3 minutes of ad time per hour. And from 2021 to basically 2025, made like $4.1 million. Astute observers amongst you with those keen peepers, you might notice that my subscriptions are less than half of what they were for the previous 2-year period.
A lot of people took the Twitch contract. I didn't take it because I just didn't want to have to fucking... they said I had to stream a certain amount of hours, and like I was like, well, what if I don't want to? And they're like, well, then... they said you have to. I said, nope, I'm out. Yeah, I just didn't want to do it. What happened in 2023? Probably his contract ended. That's whenever he moved back to multi-streaming between YouTube and Twitch.
I still made significantly more.
It's a good amount of money.
And that is because of ads. Ads.
Well, and this is also, you've got to keep in mind that this is the equivalent of 4 years, right? So he made like a little bit over $1 million a year streaming on Twitch. That's good. That's pretty good. Only $1 million a year? Yeah, it's decent. Sure. Why is he showing this? So people stop giving people that are making $1 million a year. They stop giving their fucking paycheck whenever they're working at Sam's Club to them. Stop doing this. stop it. If you want to say thank you for the content, that's totally fine. You want to get, you want to chip in $15 W, right? Thanks. But like, there needs to be an understanding of this. And here's the reason too. I don't know if he's going to talk about this, but there's been a lot of unhealthy relationships that I think people have developed over the years with streamers. And I think these unhealthy relationships are fueled by a number of things. And by talking about the amount of money that people make, it does cut that parasocial relatability thing whenever you know that this guy is making like $1 million a year, right? That to me is a good thing. That's a very good thing. I'm happy that that's happening because the type, like, again, that's like having, oh, wow, there's no shit around here. There's no more flies. Where's all the flies? Nobody's saying that, are they? That's the way I see it. I'm very much, this has always been my mindset for it. This is why I've never, I've never like farmed parasocial stuff at all. I knew a girl who was giving over $50K to her favorite streamer. She could afford it, but still crazy. Well, I mean, if you can afford the amount of money that you're spending, I think it's like a person should have every right to exercise discretion and do what they want to do if it makes them happy, right? I mean, like that really, it's fine. But at the same time, you also have to be reasonable.
Ads are the breadbasket to streamers. That the jelly to the peanut butter sandwich that is streaming. And keep in mind, these numbers here, the 4.1, the 1.2, those don't even include brand deals or sponsorships. And I didn't have any like ancillary donations, but a lot of streamers do through like Streamlabs for like text-to-speech, stuff like that. So that doesn't include any of those other means of making money through the medium.
Yeah, like whenever I started streaming, like within 3 months of streaming, I was making $10,000 a month. Like just that, it was that fast. Like I immediately like, and then at that point, like within 6 months, we were streaming, like me and McConnell, we were live every single day, basically. And we were making probably like about double that, I would say, maybe a little bit more. And we were like the top of Twitch. That was in like in less than half a year. You already had following though, right? A little bit. Like our first stream was 250, second stream was 1,000, and then like 3 months it was like 4,000 or 5,000, and then by 6 months we were getting close to 10. And then it went back down whenever I changed my schedule and everything. And then it went back up, obviously, after that. When was this? It was like 2017, something like that.
Twitch itself. And I think something important to mention, contrary to popular belief, I am not a top streamer. I am also not even a full-time streamer, and I haven't been for over a year and a half. But I'm not even a full-time streamer anymore, and I haven't been a top 20 streamer probably since the fucking Among Us boom. You know, back in the prehistoric internet age now. Like, the Among Us era is the only time where I broached, like, the top 20. I've not been in that ball game for a while, and yet this is still...
I would say that for every year, I've taken, like, long breaks, so it might fuck up the averages. But I would say, like, have I been in top 10? I think I've been in top 10 for, like, 7 years. Maybe 6. Minus, like, maybe 1 where I took a lot of breaks. That was about it. Top 10 most humble. Yeah, you were number 1. No, I've been top on the platform for months before, sure. Yeah.
Where there is no reason I should be taking money from just normal people working normal, everyday jobs. It just doesn't feel right to me. Streaming is the easiest job there is. Hot take, I know, sorry, that was a blistering, scalding magma that I just spewed out there.
It's like, yeah, you don't need to do that. And then, like, people give you money and they think that you owe them. It's just weird. Like, there's just, like, I would rather have a relationship with my audience where it's just a bunch of guys sitting around talking about video games or politics or dicks or, I don't know, something stupid, right? Like life. Like, and there's no money involved. There's no, like, weird sponsor play or something like that, right? I mean, it's just you're just sitting around talking and hanging out, right? I mean, like, that's really what I would want to do. It doesn't mean I don't like to make money, but there's always going to be ways to make money, and that's always what's happened. No girls, no, of course not. By the way, so I went to the gas station and these 3 girls were like laughing and giggling at each other, talking about me. And they kept saying, they're like, is that Moist critical? And I'm like, I'm not Charlie. And they're like, oh my God, we knew it. Yeah. They're like, we thought you were him. And I'm sorry, but I feel like I don't look anything like Charlie. If anything, it's an insult to Charlie that people say I look like him. Like, what is this? Like, how the like? And these girls, I mean, I think they were drunk, right? Because they pulled in sideways to the fucking gas station, and this is a gas station with a bunch of those like metal poles in the front, so you can't drive into it. And I'm like, how the fuck did you think that? It's the hair? No, it's ridiculous.
I sit in swamp ass for a few hours every
like
day.
a week
well,
ago.
At least I used to when I was a full-time streamer, playing games.
A week and a half.
Or just yapping. Now compare that Weenie Hut Jr. routine to a normal person who is actually working their ass off every single day in a 9-to-5 environment, grinding in the hopes of chasing the American dream. And then they'll come home, maybe turn on my stream and donate a couple of dollars to me. And it just doesn't sit right with me taking that kind of money, given what I've made from all of this.
I think also, like, to me, it's not even about that. Like, I'd have no problem, like, you know, you want me to steal money from somebody, I steal their money, but like, I don't want to have like the emotional component of it is weird. Like, I would rather steal the money from people than have them give it to me.
And I really should have just stopped this a long time ago, especially considering this is just the Twitch side of things. I told you I'm going to show you my YouTube earnings, so be ready because here it is. Huge fucking number,
big money,
unfathomable
big
amount
money.
Of money. From starting this channel in 2007 all the way until today, I have made $35.8 million. I never even imagined that amount of money was possible to earn without just being born rich.
Nah, there's plenty of ways you make a ton of money. You just have to get a lot of people to give you money.
I've said from day one, I got incredibly lucky. I will never be able to put into words just how lucky I got with all of this shit here. I'm not special. No. I got lucky.
It's funny that he says that because like it is kind of partially true. But I remember going into YouTube and going into Twitch, and we, like, before we were in streaming, we had already decided, me and Zach and McConnell and a couple of my other friends, we had already decided that we were the best streamers on the platform, and we hadn't even streamed by then. Like, the amount of ego that we had was like, it really, whenever you go back and think about it, we already were like, we're better than everybody else. So, you know, eventually, like, as soon as we start doing our stuff, everybody's going to stop watching them, and they're all going to start watching us because we're better.
Now, something I saw a lot of people asking after the video I made about turning off all the donation stuff is how much money I'm leaving on the table.
Big money on ads.
Well, it's kind of hard to show it on Twitch considering both subs and bits are technically still on, even though I discourage both and have bits at a point where I don't think it's even possible to use them. I still can't get like a hard number on what's like gone now or anything like that, but on YouTube I can show you directly. So with memberships and supers /
you can
gifts,
do that on Twitch.
I made over $1 million. Keep in mind, I've only had those things enabled for about a year. Yeah, it was $1 million in a year from just normal people donating. That's more than I expect.
I thought it'd be like 2 years.
Again, that just doesn't fucking sit right with me. Now, I know there are plenty of streamers and YouTubers that have significantly more money than me and have subs and donations on and whatever. I don't care. Like I said, this is not me trying to lead some kind of revolution here where all of them turn it off. It's their choice to make. I wanted to explain fully why I don't want normal people just giving me their money anymore at all. Also,
I don't even, like, there's a moral aspect to it, maybe. But to me, it's just fucking annoying. I don't want to read the message. I don't want to read donation messages because people feel like you need to read them, and I don't want to have to feel like I have to read your message because a lot of times they're like attention-seeking and annoying, and so it's like I don't want to do it, and so like that's the reason why. I mean, there's no like there's like no moral high ground here. There's no like because the point where it was is like so it was. I remember the moment that I realized it was a problem is that I called my dad. Like, I was on the phone with my dad. It's like me, McConnell, and S-Fan. We were, like, running. It was, like, Seth calls. I remember this clearly. And I tell him that, like, because we had done TTS that day. And I tell my dad, I said, we've been doing TTS. He said, people donate money to do it. And he asked, like, how much money did you make? And I'm like, live. And I'm just like, oh, I made $7,000. Like, that was from that one day, just from donations. And he's like, that's it? And I don't know why, but I was just like, yeah, like, did I really just like have to listen to all these retards just for $7,000? Like, do I don't want to deal with that.
To be honest, I think just full goatseeing, showing how much streaming / YouTubing can make, just showing you the full, unedited, raw numbers
it's a big number.
Probably helpful for normal people so they can see how much money is in this space. Because I think there's often so many question marks from people wondering how much does a streamer or YouTuber make. They'll either say like they're making billions of dollars or they're making nothing. There's never like an in-between because there's never any like really hard numbers to look at. So I think something like this can be helpful for that, especially because over the years I've noticed there's been a multitude of creators that have come out and tried to like underplay how well off they are financially. Because
if you do that, you are a dick sucker. You are a dick sucker if you do that. And not only are you a dick sucker, but I'm going to make a video about you. And then when you get mad that I made the video, I'm going to make another video about you getting mad. And this can go on as long as you want it to go.
They believe it could be somewhat of a brand risk where if they are perceived as being someone that's very rich, money. Well, maybe their audience wouldn't like them as much because they're no longer relatable.
Yeah.
It's just something I've seen here and there over the years from a bunch of different creators, and I just find it a bit disingenuous.
Being relatable to your audience is cultivating an audience of losers, of simp losers that are unrealistic, weird, controlling, obnoxious, parasocial, parasitic, just freaks. Like, there's some people that have audiences like this. I'm not going to name names, but we all know the names. I would not, like, if they paid me $20 million a year just to deal with that, I would not.
Hopefully something like this can help show that if someone is in, like, the top sphere of YouTube or Twitch...
If you know their name, they don't need your money.
They are very, very well off financially. Anyway, though, if you add both of these numbers up, I've made a total of $41.3 million.
No, you made way more than that. You made more than that. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. Because you have brand deals, it's probably closer to like 50, if I had to guess. Maybe a little bit more. Because like they're probably a little bit extra thing. I'd probably say it's like 50, 60, maybe 70. Like, if I had to put it in a number, that's the number I would use.
Now, I do live in Florida, which means there is no individual income tax. Yes. Big-time Florida W right there.
That's right.
And I know. I'm big-time gushing grannies, Florida glazer. I've lived here my whole life. And that is something very nice about it. But it's not to say that the tax man comes in gentle with the lube. He still goes whole hog raw. It is still brutal when the tax man comes a-knocking. He'll blow up your guts. And that's just the way that the cookie crumbles.
I don't even know how much money I pay in taxes. I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't even know. Like, I mean, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, kind of. I think that makes sense. And that was it. Are you dumb? No, I try to avoid, this might sound weird, as I said before, but I think that the more that, I think money and the fixation around money is a disease. And as soon as I was able to cover my basic expenses, then I didn't have any other need for thinking about it. So, like, for example, if you're making $50,000 a year, your life will, like, it will improve in, like, such an indescribable way if you go from making that much to making, like, $100,000 a year, right? But, like, there's a diminishing return for this. And I think that now with inflation, that diminishing return kicks in at probably $150,000 to like $250,000 a year, right? Like, where it's like the difference that you get from like a $50,000 to $150,000 a year is gigantic. The difference that you get from $450,000 to $550,000 a year is not gigantic. It's basically the same thing. And that's the point that I'm making. And so, like, the more that you think about that, I think that the more that you become disconnected from like doing what I do is it's in a way a creative, but it's also an expressive pursuit. The amount of time and like energy that I put into that, I don't want to have any of that be polluted by money, thinking about money. Does that make sense? most people can't not think about money. No, Kanye West said it best, you know, in his new song. I'm just kidding. Having money isn't everything, but not having it is. That's really the truth. And I've been in both positions, right? I've been in both positions. But yeah, I think it's true. Absolutely. But I'm not talking about that.
Obviously,
yeah,
a good chunk instantly goes to taxes. There's also like salaries for the people 42, that I pay on my
like
team,
that.
other expenses, and also for the first 4 to 5 years of me earning money through my YouTube channel, I donated every single dollar to charity. So while I may have earned $41 million over the course of my time online, I don't have nearly that much. But I still have more money than I will ever know what to fully do with. And I actually thought it would be kind of fun to go through like a deep dive on what it looks like. You know, taxes, expenses, all that kind of thing, to see how it all breaks down. But maybe that's a topic best left for a different video. So for now,
it's like they gave me my taxes, and it was like, and that was it. Like, it was a lot, man. Like, because it was, there's other things and other annoying stuff going on. It's complicated, right? It's complicated. You guys know if you have, like, certain types of holdings and stuff, it's just so fucking obnoxious.
Anyway, that's really about it. So, yeah.
There it is. Okay, well, there's the video. And, yeah, I think that, I think this is, I like videos like this because they're honest, and I think that, you know, Twitch and YouTube and everything, the way that people see reality, the amount of money that people make, etc., there is a lot of delusion that I think goes on, but yeah, that's the way it usually is. A lot of people make a tremendous amount of money, and I've said this for years. I've been getting into this for a very long time, and, you know, this is always how it's been. I've been doing this for quite a while, and chatters think they can become top streamers. Well, if you think that you can become, here's the thing, right? Is like, if you think that you're better than every other streamer that's out there, and all of the other streamers are just boring, annoying losers, that why would anybody watch them if they could watch you? Congratulations, you're in good company, because that's exactly what I thought. I was like, bro, whenever everybody watched me, that's gonna be it.